So next week we will have papers due, presentation, PowerPoint presentation, aka the PowerPoint project, and you will upload that to the discussion board and your final exam. Okay, so this week, chapter 13. Last week we did 11 and 12, 12 being, 11 being the intro into the 4 Ps. And so thinking about, this idea of product, promotion, and then now pricing and placement. So those are our 4 Ps. That all makes up the marketing mix. And so a couple of the short videos from last week did explain a few. There are multiple promotional tactics. There are multiple things to do regarding pricing. Each one of those then can be broken down. All right, so when we're looking at chapter 13, and we're talking about placement and pricing, the first component of it is the distribution strategy, aka the placement. And where this is about getting the right product to the right person at the right place at the right time. And so how do we do that? How do we organize our network and distribute our product and have it in places that people that want our product will frequent? So is our product available to our target market? And is it easily available to them? How do they feel about it? And so we have a couple of different things that we talk about when we talk about distribution. And the distribution channel really, or the direct channel really produces or is the process that links the producer to the customer with no intermediaries. And then there are also channel intermediaries. And so sometimes we have, kind of directly you buy stuff from a retailer. Other times you might have products that are sold in different chains. So the chain may buy the product and then, or the department store may buy a product and then sell it to you via a third party. So they're a third party seller versus if you were buying it from an actual store. Let's see, I'll pick on something. Yankee Candle. Most of us know what there's Yankee Candle stores where you can buy directly from Yankee Candle, but you can also buy Yankee Candles at multiple other types of stores, Hallmark stores. When we had Bed Bath & Beyond, you could buy it there. So those are other places other than their store. Nike, you can buy Nike directly, or you can buy Nike at the mall, at some of the retail stores. And so those are, they have to then purchase from Nike and then be another retailer. Wholesalers, a different type of system altogether. When we're talking about, the wholesalers are the ones selling to then the retailers, and the retails are the customer facing, those retailers. They're the ones that buy different products to have for sale for the retail market. Multi-level marketing, which most of you have heard of, involves hiring independent contractors to sell products through their personal network. Most of us know some sort of multi-level marketing product, or a friend or family member that sells products in that fashion. So there are some different categories, and we're going to talk about those briefly here. Exhibit 13.2 talks about, if you're following along in the PowerPoint, something called a category killer. These are things like they dominate categories by offering a huge variety of one type of product. This would be like your Staples, your PetSmart, Best Buy. Some of the ones you see listed here that are, again, the print of some of these slides, it's a little bit older again so that it can be viewed for free. These stores aren't even with us anymore because we've seen some category killers not be able to hold their own. And so convenience stores then, most of you know what a convenience store is, sells a small range of everyday and impulse products. Department stores. Department stores then, they offer a wide variety of merchandise and places like Macy's, which we have, and large department stores that you can roam around in, Boscov's. So we also then see, places like Target and Walmart that are discount stores. And so they aren't quite like the traditional department store, the type of products and the type of service that they offer. And you'll see Kmart listed there, which is no longer with us. Outlet stores, most of us know about the Grove City Outlet Mall and know that these stores, they used to actually have secondhand items, 20, 30 years ago. They now actually have products that are made specifically for the outlet stores that are, either they're just not the same quality as the things that they sell in the department stores. Specialty stores, AutoZone, Lens Crafters, Bath and Body Works, that sell specific types of products. Supermarkets, super centers, Walmart centers, super Targets. And then you have your warehouse clubs, Costco and Sam's Club, that sell discounted food and general merchandise to club members in like a warehouse format. And so supply chain also comes into play here when we're thinking about physical distribution and all the organizations, processes, and activities involved in the flow of goods from raw materials to the final customer. So this is an area, especially for larger companies, that is very strategic. And supply chain management, SCM, planning and coordinating the movement of products along the supply chain. And so then logistics is a subset of that. So these areas really came under fire during and right after COVID, because supply chain is only as good as the vendors that are being sourced. And so when we were seeing shortages, supply chains then, when they're interrupted, it's like it can't move along the assembly line, aka the supply chain. And so eventually, like the pipeline that is making up the supply chains, no matter how good the teams are that are managing these chains, that they still, if there is a lack of raw materials or a lack of product, or somehow there is some sort of interruption along the way, we then as consumers will see that there's no way to make magic and have things just appear if they don't exist at some point in the supply chain. And so there's a couple of things here relating to and illustrating the supply chain efforts. Next, we see the last of the 4 Ps, pricing. So we talked about product, we talked about promotion, we talked about placement, aka distribution, and the last but not least, and heavily related to microeconomics, is pricing. And so there are multiple strategies for pricing. The text offers a couple options: everyday low pricing, penetration pricing, when you have pricing that will kind of jump into the market and throw some rock bottom prices out there with new products. Loss leader pricing, pricing a handful of items temporarily below cost to drive traffic. So you might have, this is classic on Black Friday. We have products that maybe the store isn't making any money on, that they put out front to get everybody to come in, like, look, we've got TVs for $90 or $50, whatever it might be. They're definitely not making any money. Those are loss leaders. So Black Friday really illustrates a lot of the supply or a lot of the pricing strategies that we see, and like kind of exaggerates them. Profit margin, the gap between the cost and the price of an item on a per product basis. And so often what we see then is, if I'm selling, what could I sell? I'm selling these rulers. And when I figure out how much each ruler, from fixed cost and variable cost, how much each ruler costs me to sell, what's my cost of doing business? And I find that each ruler costs me 75 cents. After I buy the ruler for 30 cents, there's another 45 cents attached to each ruler by way of covering other types of costs, the labor, the overhead costs, including all of the building costs and any kind of storage costs, insurance, any kind of thing like that. So if we were saying that this is 75 cents, the profit margin, then say we're going to charge $1.50 for this when we sell it, that would be the gap between the cost of the price of an item on the per product basis. And if we think about the total cost of the item, not just the physical cost we paid for from the wholesaler, if it's 75 cents, we sell it for $1.50, then the profit margin is that 75 cents difference. And so you want to, businesses typically want to be, especially small businesses, remain in that 30% profit margin range. It gets scary when they get down into the 10%. And sometimes they try to offer sales to compete with big box stores and things like that. But keeping those profit margins up and being mindful of that really is what will save small businesses and keep them chugging along. It's also the reason that sometimes small businesses struggle. And so 13, go through some of those summary slides and think about pricing so moving back to week 7 and the Blackboard page, there are a couple short videos there. There's one on pricing, And then I have 2 on distribution strategies, distribution placement strategy, and then a specific one tied to Coca-Cola. There is a chapter 13 homework there for you. There is no discussion post this week. There is, if you want to start working on and finishing up your paper. Remember, the paper is listed under course-specific content. If you click on course-specific content, you will see the paper and the rubric, project and rubric. They are listed there if you take a peek at those. The Business 101 project, and it's a doc. There's also an example of an annual report there, which can be one of at least your 2 minimum references. If you are struggling, you can reach out to me, crobertson@ec3pa.org or 814-490-6473. Shoot me a text. You could also reach out to Mary in the library. She knows this project well and she loves to help. If she hears me say that, right, she will be like, oh no. But yes, no, she knows this project well. So she is there. She is on campus this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then she will be on campus all next week. I'm on and off campus all week next week. Mostly on campus though, every day. So if you need me as you finish up, let me know. If you write your paper and you would like me to look at it before you get a final grade on it, make sure you email it to me or shoot me a text and let me know that you sent it. Just make sure, because we're getting down to crunch time. There is a rubric there for you to refer to. Also, in that week's 8, your other project is to post a 4 to 5 slide PowerPoint outlining your final paper. So an outline of the topics in your paper, 4 to 5 slides, and post that in that discussion so the other students in class are able to see, learn about your company a little bit. You could even post that before you're done with your paper, before your paper is polished. You could do, and you do not have to do a voiceover. I just want you to practice having a PowerPoint and what you would do to build that if you were to give a discussion or presentation in front of the class or in front of a group. So that will be week 8. My plan is to have your final posted and released by next Sunday. So you have all week to work on it. And if you run into any issues, let me know. I will have a video up with that explaining the final and talking about the final. But I will be available via text, which is probably the best way. I will have that written on the final, my phone number. It'll be the same format as our homework in the sense that you will have a Word doc and you will have to highlight the multiple choice correct answer, either italicize, underline, however you like to do it, highlight it. And then your short answer, you will write right on the Word doc, and then you will upload it to the space for your upload it to the space here in week 8 on Blackboard. That is for the assignment / exam. There also is a space for your paper, final company paper, for you to upload that submission as well whenever you're finished and want to have your final paper in there. That is week 8. So chapter 13 is our last chapter. We're only doing one this